Okay, let's open a new document. We'll go into the File menu to open, and in the Lesson 10 folder, let's choose L10 Start.ai and click Open. Then we'll go into the View menu to fit all in Window. We see there's just one artboard here. Let's go into the Window menu to Workspace and choose Painting. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Then let's take a look at the Blob Brush tool, which is new in CS4. The regular paintbrush tool is used to draw open paths, but the Blob Brush tool is used to create closed shapes. So let's go ahead and select the Blob Brush tool, and we can change the diameter of the tool by hitting the bracket keys. We'll choose the left bracket to make it smaller, and we'll just click on the right bracket to make it bigger. And then with the Blob Brush tool, I'm just going to click and drag and go ahead and draw a check mark over the letter E. Now, the Blob Brush can automatically merge shapes that have the same fill color. So let's go back to the Select tool, the Selection tool, black arrow, and select the check mark that we just drew and fill it with a different color. Let's come over here to the Swatches panel, and we'll go to the Swatches panel menu and change it to Small List View. And I'm going to pull down on the lower right hand corner of the Swatches panel just to reveal more. And let's make sure the fill indicator is to the front, which it is. And we'll just click on the swatch that starts out with 0% cyan and 50% magenta. We'll go ahead and fill that check mark with that orange color and make sure that the object has no stroke, which it does not. So now we're going to go ahead and apply a drop shadow to this object. We'll just go into the Effect menu, and we'll go down to Stylize, the Illustrator Stylize effect, and we'll go to Drop Shadow. And let's change the settings here in the Drop Shadow dialog box to 40% opacity, and we'll change the X offset to 0.04 and the Y offset to 0.04, and we'll change the blur to 0.03. Okay, we can check the preview box just to see how it's going to look. That looks good. Let's go ahead and click OK. And now we are going to go to the Appearance panel up here, and we're going to go to the Appearance panel menu and change one thing. In the Appearance panel menu, let's make sure that New Art has Basic Appearance is not checked. We're going to uncheck it because we want to use the Blob Brush to modify the appearance of the check mark, but we want to keep the appearance the check mark currently has, which includes that drop shadow. So we'll uncheck New Art has Basic Appearance in the Appearance panel menu, and now we're going to come back and get our Blob Brush tool, and maybe I'll make the diameter a little bit smaller by hitting the left bracket. And I'm just going to add to this checkmark shape by clicking and dragging over the checkmark that we have now. So we've added and modified the shape just a little bit using the Blob Brush. And we're actually adding to the shape, and we can see that if we do Command Y or Control Y on a PC and go into outline mode. So now we see that we still have just one shape that's been drawn with the Blob Brush. So let's hit Command Y or Control Y to go back into preview mode. And let's get our black arrow, the selection tool, by hitting the letter V as in Victor. So now we're back on our select tool, and we're going to actually modify the check mark using the eraser tool, but we want to make sure that only the selected object is affected. And so we're going to get our black arrow and select the check mark first, and then we're going to get the eraser tool. So we'll come over here and get the eraser tool, and now we can modify the shape using the eraser tool, and the drop shadow will change along with the changes that we make. So we're just making changes to that one object that's selected, and now we're going to go ahead and and you see the drop shadow changed along with the changes that we made to the shape of the check mark. So let's go back and get our black arrow, our selection tool, and click on the letters CH here. Now currently it is live type and it can be selected with the type tool, but we're going to go ahead and outline the type. So we'll go into the type menu to where it says create outlines. Okay, now we just have art that is outlined, and we're going to get our blob brush tool. We have type that is outlined and selected, and we'll get our blob brush tool, and we're just going to come down here to where the C is, and we're just going to click and drag starting inside the C and then drag up toward the H. And so what we're doing here is just adding to a shape that was not created with the blob brush tool, but we can use the blob brush to modify or add to the shape of the letter C. And once again, we can go to outline mode, Command Y or Control Y, and we can see that the letter C with the modification is still one shape, and now it's merged into the letter H. So let's go back into preview mode, Command Y or Control Y, and there's a look at the blob brush tool.